This is Brother Stephen Pereira talking to you from my home here in Toms River. Um, I'd like to talk to you today about my son and our story as far as autism is concerned. We're about to start planning a church here in Toms River, and the Lord has asked me to share our story. I want to talk to you about hope, help, and healing. Uh, and that hope, help, and healing is a united front against autism. Um, we feel in our hearts, and we believe in our hearts that God has placed us and given us a mission that is going to be geared to help special needs children. Um, when Stevie was born, I'd like to introduce you to a couple of friends of his. This was his first friend. His name's Happy. Happy, 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 happy. Woo! That's what we were. We were very happy. Stevie was born. He's a miracle child, actually. My wife and I, when we first got married in 1997, we tried to conceive, and it was impossible. That's what the doctors said. And then we made a decision. Well, if we can't have a child, and they said, well, let's go ahead. And the Lord began to move on us and speak to us, as we went on. And He comforted us as time went on about, not being able to conceive and all that. So we just moved on with God. That's what we did. And a lot of times that's what we have to do in situations like this. We need to learn as people that when things don't go our way, we need to move on with God. And then God will open up the door. And Stevie was a pleasant surprise. Cindy and I got the call from God in October 2001, and the Lord told me to go to Rhema for 2 years and to begin my walk into the ministry. But anyway, when Steve was born, we had this little guy I picked up in the store on the way up to go see him for the first time, and his name is Happy. That's his name. That's what we call him. We call him Happy. If you hold him up to Stevie, hey, who is this? He's going to say one or two things. He'll say dog or happy. So he'll say dog, and then I'll say, what's his name? He'll say happy. And it's pretty funny. But Stevie's story is not an unusual story. Our story is not an unusual story with people with autism, children with autism, special needs kids. At 2, and Stevie was developing perfectly, and then he was a miracle in our eyes, and we were so ecstatic and excited. And eventually, what happened was that at 2.5 years old, just everything just stopped. His voice progression just stopped. It just went away. And Happy, he's a dog, and dogs represent happiness. That's why we call them Happy. They're kind of a constant source of joy. Dogs, no matter what you do to them, it seems, you scream at them 1 minute, and the dog will run over into the corner, but he'll come right back to you and want to lick you and jump up on you and try to make things right. And so I'm going to get a little bit more into that later. But this is Happy, and he's a happy-go-lucky guy. He's got unconditional love, and that's what Stevie has. Even as an autistic child, after autism has a branding to it, and people don't understand it. When you tell them your son's autistic, they don't know whether they don't know how to react. Most people are puzzled, and that's why I'm recording this message. And this is probably going to be one of 3 or 4 different video series that I'm going to do. Um, but at 2.5, something took place, and the enemy stepped into our lives in a real way that we didn't understand. Just the way most people don't understand what autism is. They kind of look at you confused. But God is on the move with him. And when the diagnosis came, and I'm just looking over here because I got some notes here, and I want to make sure I don't miss anything. But when the diagnosis came, it was It was a real emotional battle that took place. If anyone knows, has a special child, they understand what I'm talking about right now. When that specialist looked us in the eye and said, "Your son is autistic," and then they went down the line progressively and said a lot of things that, as a believer, really came against our faith. But thank God for our faith. You know, as they were talking to us, or I can recollect the day, and God bless her. She was a great lady. The lady who did his evaluation, and she just went on and on and on. And you know, they got to tell you the worst. They tell you the worst, and they went on and on. Oh, he may not ever speak. Oh, he may not ever, you know, go to college, and just the list went on and on and on and on. He won't have good social skills. You know, he may never mingle with people, and the list just kept going. And I'm here to tell you that was all an attempt to remove this from our lives. You know, one of the first things that happens in a trial is the enemy will come in and he'll try to remove something from you. So I'm going to stop right here, and we'll pick it up next time. But just remember, happy. Don't let the enemy steal your joy. God bless you. We love you. And we look forward to continuing this series. God bless.